21 questions with Graham Hicks. What's going through your head right now?
I'm wondering why you look bigger than me on the camera. What's going on there? Yeah, that's better. Under 80 is my ass.
What's going through your head right now regarding 505?
I'm very, very chilled, mate. You know, like, it's not game day yet, so today's just chill. We're all planning to go to cinema later. Just eat, relax. I don't really need to do anything else. My body's good. I don't need any physio. I even brought my foam roller. I haven't even been on it yet. I just feel good. So just relax the best I can, really.
And how do you mentally prepare for a lift like that tomorrow? Like, what do you do in the build-up like now, and what will you do tomorrow to get you in the zone?
Well, obviously in the build-up, I masturbate a lot. But it's the same principle, mate. You know, it's just I just try and relax. I don't even in past competitions. I don't try to think about the day until the day, because I just found through experience it just ends up being energy expended over stress. You know, like, I get stressed, makes me more tired, and it's a bit pointless. So,
yeah.
You know,
a lot of people waste a lot of energy, don't they?
Yeah, there's a lot of wasted energy, and you know, I mean, like today we've been by the pool. We're going to go up pictures later. It's just thinking about what we're doing today, and then tomorrow will be about what we're doing for comp prep. You know, what am I having for breakfast? Will I go for a nap? What will I eat before the show? What food am I going to take to the show? And then that's when I'll start zoning in. But today I'm as chilled as chill gets. So, and I think a lot of the guys are as well.
Yeah, comes with experience. What's your go-to hype song then?
At the minute, it's Legacy by Eminem. That one, and I like, I don't know who sings it, but Born for This. So that's a good one.
Can I say something?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
How much sleep did you get last night?
So last night I got 6 hours. It's probably not enough, but I'm not doing the right lot. You know, I did have a good nap yesterday. I had a 4-hour power nap yesterday. I'd say over an average since I've been here, I've had enough sleep. Tomorrow, I'll play it by ear. I'll try and get an early night tonight. If I get up early, I'll eat early. I'll try and get a nap in. I mean, sleep's important, but I actually don't feel like I'm lacking much sleep. I might have been a jet lag thing. Like 7 o'clock on the dot, I've been waking up. So, yeah, the sleep's good. I mean, I always think if I get 6 good hours sleep, that's enough for me.
Yeah.
Especially because I'm not doing the right lot else. You know, I literally am conserving as much energy as possible. So therefore, sleep, probably I don't need as much as I normally do. So,
what about your food plan then? What will you have tomorrow? Like, bearing in mind that, say, if you're up at 7 o'clock in the morning or earlier, like, how will you plan out your food to feel good for 5?
So tomorrow I'm just gonna try and not have too much stodge tomorrow. We've been eating a lot of burgers and, you know, a lot of fancy milkshakes, and I'm just feeling a little bit like worse for wear stomach wise. So tomorrow I'll have eggs on toast for breakfast, and then my other meals will probably just be pasta. There's a place down there that does pasta bake. They do meatballs as well. So I'll just eat over there, something not too heavy. And then at the show I'll just take snacks. Probably try and hit some flapjacks or some protein bars, whatever I can find at the shop, you know, and plenty of water.
And how does this prep for this lift compare to other like big shows that you've prepped for in the past? Like, say, if you prep for Worlds or a big Giants live show, how does the prep compare?
Obviously the prep's more simple because it's just one lift. I think that makes the whole prep a lot less stressful. I'd say the prep's been easy from a stress factor. I haven't had a lot of stress about the whole prep because it's gone so well. And you know, you've trained with me through a lot of it. I've always had a bit of a plan A and a plan B. If I feel good, plan A. If it's not going okay, plan B. And it's worked. You know, I'm experienced enough to know whether I push it more one day or I don't push it as much the next day. And, you know, I've got here in one piece. I haven't been injured for well over a year. And I've been lifting some big weights. So, you know, like, my body's in a good place.
I think that's a key that a lot of people can take from this. Like if they were a fly on the wall with the training, a lot of people I think would be surprised that you come in to train and you're like, don't know, see how it feels. I'd like to hit a triple at X or whatever.
Yeah.
But then if it's not flowing, you don't beat yourself up chasing it.
No, I think, you know, I pull back, and like you always used to say, like a lot of people don't really appreciate as well. You know, after I've done maybe my main set on something, how much accessory work I've been putting in. You know, I'm still there 2 hours after on my own, doing my accessory work, and I just think that's helped build a really good, solid foundation and symmetry in my body. Because you know, I just feel strong everywhere at the minute.
Yeah, that's been something that I've been really impressed with. Like I've seen you obviously do your main sets, and where I suppose like I'm guilty of going wrong in the past is like I can push myself a bit too much on the main set sometimes, whereas what you seem to do well is have you stick with your range plan for your main stuff, but like you say, you're like, right, I feel like I want to train hard, but you use your accessories really well to do that. So you feel like you're finishing your session and you're absolutely tanked.
But I'm tanked from just a bit of hard work, not from too much heavy lifting.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So what will your jumps be tomorrow, and how does that compare to what it would be ideally if you could select everything and there wasn't anybody else to consider?
I think my ideal jumps would be 425, 465, 505. The only difference being is that it's 470 and not 465, so it's only a 5 kilo difference. It just means I have to jump bigger and then jump less, which, you know, from a mental perspective is actually not a bad thing. And I think it's doable. I mean, last year I pulled 470, and I think if I was obviously strong enough, then I was fine with them jumps. I know a lot of people have mentioned jumping from £1,000 to 505, but you've also got to factor in that there's a show going on. And if I pull £1,000, it might be more than 30 minutes before I attempt my 505, which is too long. So I need to make sure I'm having enough rest. So I think going in at 470 is a wise choice.
So how could you see it panning out in terms of, like, the guys there's like, the other guys who could be there and attempting the 505. How do you think that's going to affect you both physically, mentally, and actually in terms of time that you're coming out? And like, how are you going to ensure that you have a perfect amount of time rest between attempts and you don't get too cold, but you're not getting rushed?
As long as I get 20 minutes minimum between my attempts, I'm happy. I won't focus too much on what everyone else is doing. Whether they lift something or not doesn't really matter. I'm there to lift them 3 lifts, and what everyone else does, I probably won't even take much notice. I'm not going to go, oh, how fast did Ivan pull 470, or how fast did Brown pull. It's about me and what I do and how well I do. I'm going there to pull it quick because I'm then going to pull the next one. So it's all about me. It's that stay in your own lane saying, if I focus too much on what everyone else is doing, I can lose my focus on what I should be doing.
And again, credit to you. That's a thing that I think you've done really well. It's because I see it at all levels where people really struggle when it gets to the nitty gritty. People struggle to not be tuning in to what other people are doing, and of course you're going to know what other people are doing to an extent. But you're not coming in talking about it to me, you know,
No,
when we're
yeah,
training
yeah,
and that.
Yeah.
You know, you're just like, oh yeah, well, so what? Like, you can tell you're not thinking about it too much, and you're really dialed and focused.
Well, the thing is, what everyone else does doesn't change what I do.
Yeah.
So why dwell on it? You know, like, if Brownow's, let's just say Brownow's smashing, like, I don't know, say there's a 460 for 3, I'd be like, well done, Brownlow. But it doesn't change what I'm doing.
Yeah, for sure.
And how I'm training and what I'm doing. I'm just aware that he's strong. You know, it's if I focus too much on Brownlow, I stop focusing on myself.
Yeah. So tell us about your pre-lift ritual. What do you do? Like, what goes through that last, say, 2 minutes as you're coming out? What do you do? Like, talk us through it.
I obviously have the music on. I just do a lot of heavy breathing, deep breathing, try and get my heart rate up. I usually have a spare lifting strap where I slap it across my face. Thought-wise, often my kids come into it. You know, I always try and think how proud they'll be when I lift something. You know, because these videos, all these things I'm doing now, I'm sure they'll be there in 10 years' time and they'll be watching them. So, you know, the kids are usually at the forefront of my mind. And that's basically it. I always just think it's a bar, I'm going to lift it. I don't really think about the weights that are on the bar. I just look at the bar and think I'm going to go lift that once, and then I'm going to walk off and I'm going to come back and do it again. And that's kind of how I thought in training. When we've put weights on, I haven't thought about what weight's on it, I've just thought I've got to lift it. And that's how I've been approaching it this year, and it seems to have worked.
Yeah. So how do you differentiate between being nervous and excited? Like, what's your feeling around those two terms?
I would definitely say I'm a lot more excited than nervous. I'm not sure I get very nervous anymore, but I do get adrenaline from being at the show and obviously for excitement. I'm not a mega nervous lifter anymore. I think I'm too experienced. I don't really get nervous. I mean, we'll see. I might turn around to you tomorrow and say, "Fuck me, Josh, I'm nervous." You know, it might be like, "Oh God, what's going on?" But you know, usually in the past, I've been more than fine.
Yeah, I think a thing that, for me, when I see people who are nervous, a lot of the time it's because they can put, like, there's maybe a reason, there's maybe something that they look back on in their preparation and maybe think, oh, should I have done that, or should I have worked a bit harder here, or should I have changed that? And that's what, obviously, training with you, I can see from your perspective, is you've got nothing to be nervous about, because you wouldn't roll back the last 6 months or whatever and think, I wish I'd have done this, or I wish I'd have done that. And it might be different next week when you think, oh, if I'd have done this at that point, you know, reflecting back. But you're going to go out there, attach yourself to the bar, and whatever happens, isn't it?
And like you say, I haven't got any regrets. There's nothing I could have changed. Diet's been good. Everything, you know, like in terms of training and looking after myself, I think I've ticked all the boxes best I can. And you know, I've had a lot, like life does. I mean, we all have things thrown at us. Life's thrown some real big curveballs at me, and I've just ploughed straight through it and carried on. You know, and that's probably the biggest thing I'm most proud of. You know, there's been so many sessions where I've not wanted to go in, you've not been in, and I'm on my own, but I've gone in, I've got the work done anyway. And even in sessions when you come in and you can see, you're like, I'm struggling, but I'm still putting in the work, I still do what's planned.
Yeah.
And then I walk out with a smile on my face because, like, I know how hard it's been, but I've still got it done.
Yeah. Yeah, thinking of a couple of times specifically, which a lot of people could take from this and take a tip from, is what I've noticed you've done well when you felt really rubbish, but still just focused on turning up. And a lot of the time you've turned up just because we've both done it, where we've turned up for each other, just because we said we would.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
if you were by yourself, you'd be like, oh, I'll just train tomorrow instead.
Yeah.
And sometimes they turn out to be the best sessions. And like what I've noticed that you've done on those sessions is like you've really peeled back the pressure and expectation of yourself. You know, there was a time where you did, I'm just going to build up to a front squat, you know, see what happens, like, and then you built up to like 340, didn't you?
Yeah, I put like 30 kilos on it. Yeah.
That was it. But because you'd focus on the process of just turning up, and then number two, you'd peel back the expectations. You know, a lot of people go to the gym and think, I need to be hitting X, Y, Z.
Yeah, I kind of looked at it like an RPE 8.5.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to hit something that's about RPE 8.5. Let's see where it is. And it ended up being something ridiculous.
That's it, but because you just focused on the speed of the plates, and you're like, well, let's have a look. Oh, it's fine, it still looks like 70 kilos.
Yeah.
You know, using that approach rather than working back from a specific number.
I'd often like to, I mean, I know how I feel and I giggle about it sometimes, but like, I must sometimes think, I wonder how this looks from your perspective when I come in, I'm not feeling very good, or I'm not up for it, or I'm not negative, but like I'm just saying I'm a bit tired today and I'm not feeling at my best.
With some
But yeah,
Matt to sleep.
If I say if I'm a bit tired today and I'm not at my best, and then you know something fucking superhuman happens, it's like, where did that come from? You know.
So
and there's been a few of them sessions, really.
Yeah, definitely. So say you pull 505 tomorrow and nobody else does. The greatest of all time deadlifter. What would it mean to you personally, like on a personal level?
Well, when you look at it from a personal static level, combined total, my log and comp, there's nobody that's ever lived that's stronger than me. That's a bigger total than Thor, it's a bigger total than Eddie, because my comp log PBs are bigger than theirs anyway. So I pull that 505, I'm the strongest man that's ever lived. And I don't think anyone can argue with that.
So do you have like a personal story that drives you, or anything else external that inspires you? Like you seem very just driven by what you want to do, where a lot of people put other people on pedestals.
Yeah.
You seem to be just really driven by just constant betterness.
Yeah, I mean, this year I've put myself obviously first because of stuff. I mean, I'm going to get into it, but you know, I've put myself first, and I want to prove to myself I can do these things by myself, and I don't need anyone else. Does that make sense? You know, like, you know, I make all my own food, I do all my own training plan, I focus on all my own recovery. Don't need anyone's help. I've done this by myself. Apart from you guys that have been there to support me during the gym sessions, externally from the gym, it's all been about myself, and it's all been on me, and it's only been me that's got me here. You know, there's been loads of times I've wanted to order takeout, couldn't be bothered cooking, but I still cooked, ate the best I could. You know, loads of times I didn't want to do my hot and cold, still went down there, still got it done. You know, and I've tried my best to make sure I've improved my sleep. So, yeah, you know, I think I've just done it for myself. I want to prove to myself that when I put my mind to it, if I want to do it, I can do it.
Brilliant. What's been the hardest part of the deadlift prep, in terms of, you can talk about the physical bit or the expectation bit, or whether it's working to something that nobody has ever done before?
I think the hardest thing for me, because I do take things quite personally, is the online negativity. You know, especially when you do something that's quite good. I pull 450 for 2, and rather people than pat me on the back, oh, Thor could do better, Eddie pulled it faster, and you're like, I've just done something pretty special, but people try and de-specialise it by comparing it to somebody else. And that's the hardest thing I struggle with. It's like, I don't like the negativity that comes with being in this position. It's like, just, if you've not got anything positive to say to someone, don't say it, you know. And I am a human being. We're all human beings, you know. And I am quite an emotional person, and like I do take it to heart when you know, when people try and talk down how good I've got.
Yeah.
Especially when they throw other people's names at me. I mean, I know Thor's strong. We're friends. He's an exceptional athlete, but he's not going to sit there and watch my lifts and go, I can do better, because he's not like that.
No.
You know, so I kind of.
Like, he'll probably think the opposite. To be fair, he'll probably think, "Bloody hell, Graham's killing it."
Yeah. And to be honest, he does say that to me. So you know, it's the online stuff that I struggle with. That's why I stay away from being online a lot. Even though, like, I might put a post up, and then I'll put my phone on the side and I won't go back on, because you get 100 nice comments and you get one bad one, and I seem to focus on the one bad one.
Yeah, that's it. But I think you've got to zoom out a little bit and look at it as the more popular that you are, the more successful you are. If 1% of people like give you something negative, but then you're getting in front of thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people on social media.
Yeah.
It's just the same percentage of people that will be negging you whatever you do, but it just seems a lot more because.
I mean, I'll pull 505 and there'll still be someone who'll say he could have pulled it better, or he should have pulled it like this, or there'll always be someone that says something.
Yeah.
You know.
So what advice would you give to somebody else like attempting a prep like this, or going for something that nobody else has done before?
You've kind of got to look at it from a point of view of, if no one's done it before, you've got to be prepared to do things that no one's done before, which is be very selfish in some respects. And you know, in the prep, I've done a lot of things that nobody's done before.
Yeah.
But I think the main thing is just to be patient.
Yeah.
Don't rush. Hold back. And you know, like we discussed before, we all have bad days.
Yeah.
So expect the bad days, and handling them is the most important thing. Because you can have one bad session, but then I'm quite good now at parking it. Like, I'll have the session if it didn't feel very good.
Yeah.
When I get up tomorrow, I've forgotten about it. Whereas some people will dwell on that session for weeks.
Yeah.
And I think don't dwell on what's been. Always look ahead. Is probably the best advice I can give.
And I think going back to the last thing of like getting criticism. What's that saying? Like, don't accept criticism of somebody you wouldn't take advice from.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But like, if you're by definition, you're going for doing something that nobody else has done before. So why would you be following general advice of a general population person?
Yeah.
Like, you're doing something great. You're doing something beyond normal. So like, what? Yeah, I just think.
How are you? That's a lot.
Oh yeah. Do you have your nails done?
Donkey.
How you doing?
You all right?
Yeah,
We're
man,
just
how
doing
are
a
you?
little Q&A.
Oh, you're on film? Sorry.
This is
How's it going?
This is some American dude,
Yeah,
you know,
good
big
I didn't
fucking
realize the
American
camera
dude.
was on. It was his fault.
We'll catch up in a minute. I have done my nails done. Put the camera down. Look.
Good, man. You?
They're a bit scuffed
So
from use.
what's the story with the nails?
Well, obviously, I've got 2 daughters. My youngest is 5, and it's become a bit of a ritual. Every weekend I have them. She paints my toenails, so I get some very strange looks, but don't care. You know, and I've been saying it all year. That's it. I'll go there to Vegas with my nails painted, so they're painted. Obviously, they're probably due another coat, but
I think if you get it, everybody's going to be painting the nails.
Hicks adds extra 5 kilos.
Yeah. So have you got anything planned immediately after the lift? Like, say, envisage you get 505, nobody else does. What are you going to do immediately after?
Me and you are going to go to the bar and get drunk.
Sweet. Do you have any superstitions or good luck charms?
Just this really. My daughter made me a bracelet that says good luck, and I've worn it for all my big deadlift sessions. So I'll put it around my ankle because obviously I wear the straps. That's it really. Just try and keep my kids close to my heart when I'm lifting.
How do you handle the pressure of a world record attempt?
No
What are
pressure.
you gonna do when you're out there and people are like asking you, "Oh, how are you feeling, Graham? Oh, come on, you can do it."
I'm pretty good with pressure, and I think something. I'm not going to say it as simple because it makes it sound a bit, a bit less important. But a deadlift is a simple lift. It's not like a full strongman show or a log where there's a lot more technical errors that can come in. Pressure for me on a deadlift, it doesn't matter if it's there or not. It won't affect me. I'm very thick-skinned and I don't get pressured very easily. But I usually perform well if there is some form of pressure.
So quite a few people have been watching your YouTube progress and the journey. Have you got a message to your fans, your loyal fans, the ones that...
Just, like I always say it, I'm very grateful for anyone that's followed me. And we're grateful for anyone that supports me, anyone that has the time to message and wish me luck, any comments on YouTube, Instagram, all them things. I'm very grateful to all the fans. And I always say, no matter where I am in the world, whatever I'm doing, I could be taking a shit. If a fan wants a picture, I will never turn them down. So, I'm very loyal to my fans, and I appreciate every one of them.
What's been the number one hardest thing for you to deal with in terms of your prep?
Holding back.
Holding back.
Holding back.
Will you return to powerlifting? If you did, what do you think you could total with 12 weeks prep? And would you ever go for the log record again?
I don't think the powerlifting is in my priority right now. I want to get back into strongman. All being well, if my shoulder gets fixed, which I'm sure I can fix it, I'll get back up to some big log presses again. I don't think, I was so good for a period that people forget how good I was. COVID happened, and I picked up injuries, and I just stopped chasing it after that. But I don't think that's ever lost. I just got to retrain it, and I'm pretty sure I can get back up to a 220 plus log.
Yeah, 100%. And finally, what's your plans for after? Imagine, like, whether you get the 505 or imagine you're going to get the 505. What are you going to do the next week of training? What's going to be your mindset? What's going to be next for you?
First thing I'm going to do is start doing cardio again. Try and lose a little bit of weight, and with your help, I'm going to start getting into a strongman training routine again. Start training strongman with you because I've missed it. I want to get back doing shows. Regardless of what my age is, I feel like I'm in the best physical shape I've ever been in. So I think it'd be a shame to not try and do strongman again, because I still feel like if my static strength, even if I lost 5%, my static strength stays where it is and I get back to moving, which I used to be very good at, I think I could be a good strongman again. So that's the plan. As soon as I'm recovered, we'll start training strongman again.
Nice one, mate.
All right.
Spot on.